afternoon, everybody. It's Lynn, the leather bag lady. How are you all today on this gloomy, kind of overcast Wednesday? Leather bag lady weather report. I was about to say Thursday, but it is Wednesday. So I'm still tracking for not knowing what freaking day it is. But yes, it is Wednesday. We have been out and about, just done some grocery shopping, did the elliptical this morning, and realized that somehow the tension had gone to 6. No wonder I nearly died yesterday. So, because I thought it's been 2 weeks since I've done this. I should not be this incapable of recreating my workout routine. So I reduced the tension to a reasonable tension, and I was able to do my workout this morning. But anyway, I digress. To today's bag. Here we go. And I've just realized, doesn't that look like a jacket? Almost like a motorcycle jacket, zipper in the front and the pockets. So these pockets are functioning pockets. Goes all the way down to about here. And then you have your fabulous brushed gold, which is all back in style. Brass tones, gold tones, all, not so much rose gold, just gold are all back in fashion right now. But this, look at this thing. Isn't it fabulous? And you just pull it up and it stops. It's great. And then I find it hard to hold this and do this at the same time. You've got just I'm not sure what the purpose of this is for. I think it could just be for aesthetics. It really doesn't. I mean, if you need that extra space, I think the whole look of the bag is lost. What I do love about it, though, is it's all raw leather back there. And you know how I feel about raw leather. So let's zip it back up and show you what it looks like when it's all done up. There you go. Isn't that fantastic? Beautiful big base on it. Had to do a little bit of recoloring for you around the edges, but you know I love to do that. Little bit of a higher back than front. Again, just a simple little detail, but it just gives the bag a bit of extra oomph. And then the strap. That is a shoulder if you want. If you are quite petite, you could maybe use it as a sling. Wouldn't work on me. I'm a little too plus size for this, but you could. I wouldn't wear it like that. This would be my go-to. I'm a shoulder bag girl. And if you want to open it up again, pull it all out. The interior is fabulous. There's your High Fashion Handbags, made in Canada, zipper compartment. It is a wipeable interior. And as far as I can see, it is in excellent condition. You're not really going to be able to see in there. It's a bit dark, but it is fabulous. Now, one thing I will tell you, where is the section? I can't even find it now. Oh, here it is. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to explain this properly. So can you see the stitch line here? And then there's just a little bit that folds under. This came apart. The stitching didn't come apart. Obviously, when they made the bag, they didn't leave enough material for the stitch to catch it. And it kind of came out. That was it. It was just aesthetically, it looked kind of crap. I thought about trimming it, and then after that last blue tote bag that I trimmed, that I wouldn't do that again if I was to start over. I thought no. So I got one of my tools, and I folded it back over and I glued it. So just full disclosure, the stitch is in perfect condition. It was just that little trim piece that had come out on the edge. So that is just, again, I like to tell you everything. The buckle is beautiful brush gold, the same as this guy. I recently had a beautiful little black, same style by the same company, leather backpack kind of shoulder sling bag, and it just recently sold. So this is just very much in keeping with that. So that is today's bag. And now I will move on to today's wallet. So this is just nothing fancy dancy. There is a little bit of grain in the leather. The rest of it is smooth, but there is some veining in the leather. This is more, a utilitarian wallet. I'm finding that when I was doing my shows, a lot of the ladies wanted men's wallets. I think they found them less bulky to carry. And there is a whole mindset that you really shouldn't be carrying everything in one place. So if somebody were to take this out of your wallet and all you had in it was your money, yes, it sucks that you lose your money, but your ID would be someplace else. And I'm finding that ladies are starting to use men's wallets for their ID and a much smaller, because let's face it, ladies, our wallets have gotten out of control. Like anybody who's ever had one of those massive 31 wallets, if it's all you carry, then knock yourself out. But if you're trying to put that in a purse, I can't tell you the amount of customers that I've had come to my table who want to reduce the size of their purse, but they can't because their wallet is massive. So this is brand new. There is still a card in there. I'm going to date this easily 80s. It is Pedano, which is, I've come across this brand before. So you have, this is a little different. You have a little, like you could maybe tuck something in there, ID or whatever. You've got a slot here, a slot here, and you have your cards here, an ID window, and then you've got your bill section, and there's actually a couple of little card slots back here too. So that is today's wallet. Very, very simple. Definitely an 80s offering, I would suggest, but very slimline and very easy to, like even if you, again, so here's me thinking about how you can kind of get the best of both worlds. I know that when I'm going out somewhere, like for example, Pius's Christmas party that happened in November, I wanted to wear a vintage, I wore a full-length vintage velvet coat, and I wanted a rockin' vintage bag to go with it. Probably the only time I've worn vintage in that way. It's the only time I've worn a vintage coat in the whole year last year. But I wanted to, my outfit was very plain. I wanted to jazz it up with my coat and my purse. So I've actually considered, in the same vein as I suggested that you maybe split your wallet into two, this would be something I would set up to be able to grab on those nights and put them into, let me see what I can find. Like even something like this. It's like a little, not vintage by any means, but if this was a clutch, in it goes your phone, your whatever. And then when you get home and want to put your stuff back in your regular bag, you put this baby away. And like even that, where's that suede? I'm showing you some of my, okay, right. Let's do it. I'm going to show you some of my personal vintage collections. And here's where you'll get what I mean. So this was the suede one the other day. And yeah, that will fit in there beautifully. So that is something that I would use for that exact occasion. This, how beautiful is this Italian made Paola del Lungo, Florence, Italy. I love this. This just makes me smile, and it goes all the way around the back. And it's got this kind of mock croc, which is huge for winter 2024, by the way. Mock croc is where it's at. That's going to fit in there, no problem. This little baby is a little Jane Shilton. I collect Jane Shilton. Love this brand. Now, would I use this particular wallet in a Jane Shilton? Maybe, but I would try and find something. Actually, do you remember that wallet I was trying to find for you a month or so ago and I couldn't find it? Here it is. How gorgeous is that? So this is just perfect. Look at that. Even the gold tone. Oh, this is very nice. Jane Shilton, genuine leather, made in England. What a beautiful story the Shilton brand is. Let me see if I can remember what it is. So she worked for Shilton. I think it was back in the 30s. He went off to World War II. She held down the fort in his absence. He came back from war, married her. That's a kind of Coles Notes version of the Jane Shilton story. And then he changed the name. So it was Shilton something, because obviously that's his last name. But isn't that a perfect, oh, I love that. Now, I've caught myself recently oohing and ahhing over things, and I watch Karen Britchick. If you like fashion, I watched her 4 years ago when she was just starting to kind of get her groove. I think she's been online forever. She lives in New York. She married a New York gentleman. But since I watched her last, she has just exploded. She is in the front row of fashion shows. She is in Milan. She is all over the world. She does an amazing series called what they're wearing, or what they're wearing in New York or something. And it's fabulous. She just takes her camera and she walks the streets of New York and she stops people and talks to them about their outfits. But the reason I'm mentioning her is she gets almost nauseatingly excited about her stuff. And I'm like, okay, leather bag lady, relax your roll there. Let's not do a Karen Britchick. But yeah, so that is another one. Now, lastly, so this is what this is my go-to to grab. Something that screams vintage like this. Oh, and what would you know? Another Jane Shilton. So it looks like a little castle. Oh, you wear, like if you're not into the vintage head to toe, which I absolutely am not, but the quality of vintage, the styling of vintage is just so amazing that grabbing a little something like this on your way out the door, this, or if you don't want to use a vintage bag because maybe they're too small or whatnot, you pull this out of your bag. Here's another one that I'm working on right now. You pull this out of your bag. This is an 80s little offering. Again, Tilly, I told you yesterday, I've got tons of them. It's just, it just gives, and again, not that I care what people think, but it's nice to shock people. It's nice to, for me, it's interesting because it's a great way to talk about my business. But I just love sharing even the stories. That's that Jane Shilton story. There's a couple of brands that I just love the story of. Etienne Agnier, how Etienne is absolutely correct. Agnier, whatever it is. His story is magnificent. Jane Shilton is a brilliant story. There's a couple of other ones that are really interesting. They don't come to my mind right now, but that's what I love to do, is share the vintage story if I can come across it. I'm still frustrated that I can't find anything out about the Tilly brand, but I will endeavor to come up with something. authentic, obviously, not something I've just made up. So here I am in my shed again today. Had the heater on since God knows what time this morning. But kind of the days got away from us again. What have I added to my... Oh, if you saw my video in Niagara Falls, you saw me thrift this little gorgeous piece. What I love about this is the hang tag. I just absolutely adore the hang tag. And poppy, I like poppy. So that is anything. Oh, I do have a kind of a bright blue, but this is, so this one is folded and stitched on one end. Some of them that they are the same length, but they stitch it down the middle and then they put that god-awful glazing on either side, and that's where the problems start. So this little one had some separating, so I'm trying to do my best to fix up the strap. But I love these. I mean, what would you put in there? This reminds me of my grandma's cigarette case. So you've got, actually, I've got it. So this, oh, how fun is this? This is what my grandma would put her cigarettes in. My grandma's been gone 8 years, 9 years. So her lighter would go in here. And so it didn't have the two sections. It was just one section. And her little package of smokes would go in there. And that's what she would carry in her purse. And this so reminds me of my granny. Isn't it fun? So this is the kind of stuff that I'm working on now. This is my daughter's beautiful from the Florence, Italy leather markets. She asked me to put a strap on it, and I did find, it's got a wristlet. I did find one for it, but it was kind of cheap. It kind of cheapened the bag. I've had this forever. Poor Sarah, who I spoke to this morning. She's doing very well. Purple. So, I mean, there's just stuff everywhere. I can't wait to show you everything. I'm really excited about everything. I have started 2024 in such a different light. I'm really, really trying. I haven't said one bad word about my house, but I have come to the realization that I live in a city with 500,000 people in it, which is wonderful. However, I've maybe sold 3 bags on Etsy to people in Hamilton. And I don't think my Shopify, my .com is going to be that much more fruitful. When I do my shows locally, not too bad. So I think I have to kind of spread my wings a little farther. And with the technology that is built in to our Facebooks and LinkedIn's and that kind of thing, I can do that. So it's just trying to organize. I need a trip to Niagara Falls. I need a old school Lynn trip to Niagara Falls, where I can sit with no distractions and get a bunch of shit done. I wonder if I could make that happen. I'll have to talk to the husband about that. I don't know, maybe I go down one day and he joins me the second day or something of that nature. I'm just too distracted here. I just really am. And when I'm in here and Pius is sitting in the house, I mean, he doesn't care. He's told me take as long as you want. But I don't really want to be sat in here when he's in there. Wah, 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 right? Oh, to have those problems. I answered, I belong to a fempreneurs group. And this morning I woke up to, or is it yesterday morning? I woke up to somebody asking about people's experiences online dating. So I read all the comments that they'd had so far, and most people were shitting on it because it is a very stressful way to meet someone. But then I thought, why not offer them a success story? I reached out to Our Time, which was the online service that Pius and I met on. Never heard back from them. So I thought, okay, I would love to share our success story with people who are at the point of giving up or struggling or all of those things. So I shared my story that, Pius and I met on a dating site called Our Time, and it is for 50 plus adults. It is a paid site, but it's not stupid expensive. You can pay by the month or you can pay by the quarter or 6 months. Obviously, it gets cheaper as you go. I paid for 3 months. I'm not sure how long Pius paid for, but you know what? Try it. And I must say, I know quite a few people who have had success on that site. And, we met May 24th, 2022. Pius messaged me for the first time, and it was 8 a.m. in the morning. And it was actually a Tuesday because I was heading to Niagara Falls for one of my work visits. So I chatted with him the whole 2 days I was there, got back Thursday, and then we actually met face to face on the Friday night at Rosie's. He walked in and I was actually sitting talking to my friend Phil, who we were sitting with on New Year's Eve. I think Phil kind of thought he might, hook up with me or connect with me at some point, but no, it wasn't going to happen. And lovely, lovely man, but no, thank you. So when we were sitting in New Year's Eve, Pius was like, sorry, Phil. And he was like, oh, that's fine. That's fine. But I do forget sometimes how lucky I am to have found somebody, late in life. I'm 56 soon. I'm not ancient, but it does get trickier as you get older, I think. You're so routinized in your day-to-day activities, and that is something that I've struggled with, but it is definitely not something that would trump being in the situation that I'm in at all. So yeah, I thought I would have had some responses to it. I even put a little picture of us on our wedding day in front of our lighthouse in New Waterford, or is actually New Victoria. I think it was New Victoria, Cape Breton Island. Oh, you know what? That place is so special. We were actually talking to each other about our final wishes. I figured, let's ask the question. I don't ever want that to happen, but if it does, I just had my cousin pass away a couple of weeks ago. He ended his battle with ALS. And I said to Pius, like, what do you want? He's like, I don't want to be buried. I want my ashes spread somewhere. And I think did he designate New Waterford specifically? I'm not sure. But I'm thinking that our lighthouse is probably, because I'm from Scotland. I was born in Scotland, but I don't have a connection to Scotland. I have a bigger connection to Cape Breton Island than I do Scotland, to be honest. We moved around a ton as a kid. My dad was a professional soccer player. So we moved around all over the place, Scotland, England, Ireland, and Canada. And then I went back to England for almost 9 years. But yeah, I think, Pius, obviously, our friends Karen and Blair, who are just so dear to me already in such a short time. Pius grew up with Blair, grew up with Karen, so that is a different connection, obviously. But I see pictures of that lighthouse. So yesterday when I was putting that picture on my post, I love it. And we're talking about not doing, we went to Cape Breton Island in 22. We went last year, and we were thinking maybe going the other way because I have family in Winnipeg. Pius's sister lives in Calgary, and we thought maybe we would go that way. But I need to see my lighthouse. I just do. And it'll be our first year wedding anniversary. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. Anyway, everybody, it's been wonderful chatting with you today. Oh, I did want to share a couple of trends. I had it open yesterday to share with you. And of course, I got chatting and forgot. So I shared one with you already, which is the croc embossed. Huge. Huge bags. The bigger, the better. The more unstructured, the better, which is right up my alley. Right up my alley. And clutches, but not just any clutch, like really squishy, textured clutches. So that is just, I was reading an article on the 10 best purse shapes that are going to be carried in winter 2024. And those are the ones that kind of spoke to me the most. And here I am using another one of my leather bound notebooks. Hey, I made all these things years ago and never did anything with them. So I figured, you know what? I'll use the dang things. So anyway, everybody have a great rest of the day. And tomorrow is Thursday. Yeah, I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.